Let's talk about it. Y'all ready to break this shit down? Since nobody else want to do it, I'm gonna do the hard work. Smash them likes, man. Smash them likes, man. STREAM-A-THON day 6, man. About to break down this. We about to go through this article and see what the fuck is going on with this nigga, man. Ghetto DVD, my dog. I got a mod. I'm gonna mod you up too, my nigga. Yeah, that nigga Diddy, boy. I'm about to get into this article. I ain't read this article. I got a hold of the actual article. Seems like nobody wants to read the whole article. From what I seen, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Hold on. Rolling Stone and came up with this motherfucking article about this nigga, right? Damn, it's been a moment since I did some, not public speaking, but public reading, like to this thing. It ain't too crazy, though, it ain't too long. It's an article, though. You know what I'm saying? It's for sure article. Did he do it? Y'all ready? Let me know when y'all ready for me to start reading this shit. Smash them likes, run them likes up. Everybody here, go hit them little 3 dots if you're on your mobile device. Hit them fucking likes if you're on your computer or whatever. Hit that like button one time. So the name of this article is Bad Boy for Life, written by, I don't know exactly who, but they at Rolling Stone. You know, Rolling Stone always writing some old controversial. Rolling Stone be messy too. I don't like, niggas don't never talk shit about them. They be getting messy in the motherfucker though. What up, Stony Tony? What's the deal, nigga? All right, I'm about to just start, nigga. What up, my dog? Mr. Hells, what's the deal, man? Y'all ready to get into this shit? Can y'all hear me pretty clear? It's good. So I guess we're gonna start. And I would show y'all this, but I had to screenshot it because I was not gonna pay for this. I'm not paying for no article on Diddy, nothing, nigga. But I ended up getting a hold of it. So I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna read it out loud. It'd be like a nigga reading a story or something, reading a book, you know what I'm saying? I'm clear? All right, bet. All right, let's get into it. As he took the stage at the BET Awards in June 2022 to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award, Sean Diddy Combs was elated, quote unquote. Yeah. He bellowed, punctuating his words with triumphant jumps. The adoring crowd who gave him a sustained standing ovation included his mother and children, longtime friends, and music industry peers Kanye West, Janelle Monáe, Babyface, and Lil Wayne. After 3 decades of relentless hustling that took him from hungry teenage intern to A&R executive producer, label impresario, label impresario, respected fashion designer, and household brand name, Diddy has seemingly reached the apotheosis of his career. He closed his eyes and repeatedly thanked God. He got down on one knee and prayed. He got down on one knee and praised his mother. He name-checked a laundry list of people who mentored and inspired him, quote unquote. Anything I do is through love. I remember that shit. He had the little joint in his hand. Anything I do is through love, Combs proclaimed early in the 9-minute speech. That's what I evolved to be, and that's what I'm doing right now. But soon, Combs struck a more somber tone. I was in a dark place for years, he said. I gotta give a special thank you to the people that was really there for me. He listed friends and advisors. Then looking directly into the camera, he added, quote unquote, Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love. He raised one hand to make an L sign and held his gaze steady silently for several seconds. Combs and Cassandra Cassie Ventura, a former singer for his iconic Bad Boy record label, had split 4 years earlier, but he had been openly penning for her ever since. Um, he posted photos of her online and urged her to listen to Michael Jackson's "The Lady in My Life." He publicly congratulated her on her first pregnancy with her husband. His comments at the award show were part of a pattern of behavior, one that had been tormenting Ventura for years. When she learned of her ex's latest remarks, sources say Ventura was distressed. She was also resolute. Almost 18 months later, in November 23, Ventura sued Combs, claiming he held her in a violent form of sexual servitude throughout their relationship and raped her upon their final breakup. So his finishing move right when they broke up was, from what she said, was to RAP her. You know what I'm saying? That was the final. In 2018, she invoked Combs' BET speech in her filing, quote unquote. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. She said Combs' brutal beatings, one of them captured in a harrowing hotel surveillance video obtained by CNN in May, we seen that one, left her with bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and extensive trauma. For Grammy-winning songwriter Tiffany Red, a friend of Ventura who worked closely with the singer during the height of the alleged abuse, Combs' words from the BET stage had been a taunt, quote unquote. This is what the girl said, her Cassie friend. It's like harassment, she explains. You're still fucking with her. Leave her alone. Leave her the fuck alone. In the 5 years after the breakup, Combs Ventura remained silent. While he was posting about her pregnancy in 2019, she was negotiating in distress behind the scenes to escape her Bad Boy contract. Red says, in parentheses, despite Ventura signing a 10 album, he got her with the okie doke. He signed her to a 10 album deal. That's what Max B signed to Jim Jones. Like, if you're a new artist, there's no way you need to sign a 10 album deal unless it's, I don't know, it better be with like a Michael Jackson type motherfucker or something. I don't know. But I mean, I guess Diddy, he's up there. Bad Boy only released one studio album by her. That's crazy. Combs was allegedly trying to tie her separation agreement to a disparagement clause, quote unquote. It's not like we were negotiating with just her record label, Red says. We were negotiating with her abuser. Through her lawyer, Ventura declined to speak for this article. Combs did not respond to a request for comment on this allegation. At some point, Ventura checked herself into a rehabilitation center to deal with physical and psychological repercussions of her time with Combs and found renewed purpose in being a mom, her lawsuit says. When she eventually gathered her strength and stepped forward, a flurry of other lawsuits followed. 5 more women have since accused Combs of RAPE or violent sexual assault, dating as far back as 1990. 2 of whom claimed that Combs secretly recorded their sexual encounters and showed the footage to the others without their consent. Music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones also sued, alleging Combs groped his genitals. That's not funny, man, but I'm just saying, like, this nigga has no pics. This nigga is going, he groping niggas, bitches. Lil Rod Jones also sued, alleging Combs groped his genitals and forced him to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. While Combs would eventually take responsibility for the lawsuit captured on a surveillance video, he has vehemently denied all the other allegations against him. The day Ventura filed her complaint, he blasted it as a shakedown based on quote-unquote outrageous lies. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Miss Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail, his lawyer, Ben Brafman, said. In response to Ventura's lawyer, Douglas Whitaker said Combs offered Miss Ventura 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit. The parties came to an undisclosed settlement within 24 hours of Ventura's filing, which we all know this story. This is what's up, y'all? Shout out to everybody. I'm reading this new article, this controversial ass article. I got the article. I know ain't nobody reading the article even, because you got to really pay for it. But I kind of got it a little, I finesse my. With his fourth RAPE accuser, when I ain't gonna say that word. Accuser sued in December. Combs, age 54, issued a passionate denial. This was the quote he put. "Enough is enough. For the last couple weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroying my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me make this absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." And we all remember that. For many, the lurid allegations against Combs were jarring, in part because he had risen to such great heights as a bankable Bond Vivian who threw the best parties from New York City to the Hamptons to Hollywood. He's the pop culture stalwart who walked under a parasol held by his campy, which is an umbrella, valet Farnsworth Bentley and St. Tropes, and turned up at a Met Gala in the Swarovski, how you say that joint again? The crystals? Swarovski crystals, the crystals that look like diamonds, but they're not. Encrusted tuxedo and floor-length cape. He rapped about Bentleys and Benjamins and held court at his over-the-top annual white parties attended by Leonardo DiCaprio, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Martha Stewart. He called himself the Great Gatsby and considered circus showman P.T. Barnum as his muse. You good? Yeah, bet that. Now the spotlight Combs constantly chased is trained on his alleged crimes. In staggering scenes that underscore his fall from grace, heavily armed Homeland Security agents stormed his sprawling Los Angeles and Miami estates as part of a federal sex trafficking investigation on March 25th. Investigators tore through his offices and bedrooms, leaving cables dangling from a command center and multiple safes wide open. 3 gleaming Grammys and an Oscar set atop a gutted console like relics of a crumbling regime. A crestfallen Combs was later seen alone, a cell phone hanging useless in his hand as he slowly paced around Miami Opa-locka Airport. His vacation in the Bahamas was canceled. His once fortified homes breached. His adult sons handcuffed, and his empire on the brink. I'm reading this from if anybody acting crazy, y'all know what to do, mines. Get them niggas the fuck out here. This is from Rolling Stone. While the raids made global headlines, the silence from Combs' famous friends was palpable. How you say the word? Palpable? This felt different than before, when he could use a checkbook, a high-powered attorney, and a media blitz to overcome scrapes with the law. When his charisma, influence, and connections would allow him to shake off allegations of violence or outcry from his disenfranchised artists. Quote unquote, reparations is getting closer and closer, former Bad Boy artist Mace said a day after the raids. The big payback. Now here we about to get into it now. Over the past 6 months, Rolling Stone conducted dozens of interviews with Combs, former friends, acquaintances, employees, and Bad Boy artists, as well as industry insiders. Out of the 300 plus people contacted for this investigation, more than 50 were willing to speak about their experiences. Several would do so only off the record, citing a fear of retribution. And then they got this in parentheses. Some of the people that they was trying to get, some of them requested compensation in exchange for their stories. Rolling Stone does not pay for interviews. That's in the parentheses what they said. Many declined to participate, wanting to distance themselves from Combs. quote unquote, I'm trying to leave that part of my life behind, says one former employee. Those who did speak about Combs describe a complicated man with opposing personas. Outwardly, they see a tastemaker who is unapologetically driven, generous, jovial, even silly at times. He can be the same privately, but associates who got close enough to him discovered something darker. Behind the facade, a menacing figure who desperately wants to be accepted and admired, who uses public declarations of devotion, splashy donations, and boasts that he is quote unquote brother love to hide an undercurrent of alleged abuse and violence that, in one previously unreported allegation, traces back to before his career even started. Combs welded his growing power to bend people to his will, sources claim, sending staffers to win back one-time girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, beating a label exec bloody after he became romantically involved with Combs' ex, Kim Porter, and allegedly trying to solicit sex from a woman on his payroll. As part of this investigation, Rolling Stone sent Combs a detailed list of questions about the new and pending allegations. He did not specifically address any of them. Quote unquote, Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, will not comment on pending litigation, and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press from any source, no matter how unreliable, his lawyer Jonathan Davis tells Rolling Stone. Quote unquote, we are aware that the proper authorities are conducting a thorough investigation and therefore have confidence any important issues will be addressed in the proper form where the rules distinguish facts from fiction. That's what his lawyers are saying. They ain't answering no questions. They're going to do this shit legally. Okay. Joy Dickerson Neal, who is suing Combs for sexual assault, tells Rolling Stone that her decision to come forward isn't about money. It's about making sure the world sees that this man who rose to the level of an icon. No, hold on, where I'm at. Rose to the levels of an icon is actually sick and has left many victims. Unpunished, disgusting behavior for years. All right, for Ventura, Combs presented as her flashy, established 37-year-old label boss when he pulled her into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her on her 21st birthday in 2007, leaving her in tears, according to her complaint. She says he was holding the keys to her, nascent music career when he pressured her to consume drugs and have sex that same year. Combs quickly became deeply entrenched in every aspect of her life, paying for her apartment, having her medical records sent directly to him, and lashing out for perceived slights, the lawsuit says. When Ventura tried to move on and had a brief romantic relationship with musician Kid Cudi in 2011, Combs allegedly beat her. Combs later told Ventura he planned to blow up the rapper's car in his driveway, the lawsuit claims. In a statement to the New York Times in November, Cudi confirmed that his car exploded. Quote unquote, this is what Kid Cudi said. This is all true, he said. So Kid Cudi snitching. He's like, fuck that. Y'all in there chopping it up. Yeah, don't be scared. Put your thoughts in here, whatever, you know. In her suit, and we ain't even get into it yet. We probably like on page, goddamn, we early. In her suit, Ventura says she learned to blindly submit to Combs to avoid vicious beatings. Eventually, her lawsuit claims the abuse extended to sex trafficking, with Combs ordering her to slather herself in oil. That's crazy. A nigga tell you slather yourself? I know he didn't say that, but slather herself in oil. That fucked me up. What's the neighbors? Combs ordering her to slather herself in oil and get high and drunk and have intercourse with male sex workers, while Combs masturbated and filmed the interactions, which he dubbed freak-offs. Y'all, you heard it right. You heard it right. So he was beating his meat and filming her getting fucked by Mandingo warriors or whoever the fuck he wanted to pick for that night. Why this nigga's a cuck. Diddy 22, it go both ways. Diddy 22. She learned to dissociate during these horrific encounters. She says, the public got a disturbing window into Combs' treatment of Ventura in a surveillance video unearthed by CNN. In it, a towel-clad Combs is seen pursuing a barefoot and fleeing Ventura after he'd allegedly punched her in the face during a freak-off. And oh, so that was mid-freak-off. The video that we seen, when he ran up, that was like they just was having a freak-off, like something like within that time span, like that day, that hour, that she was like, this is my last freak-off, nigga. Wait till this nigga go to sleep. I knew it was something like that. I was like, either he just, you know what I'm saying? Like took advantage of her, like, cause how he fall asleep and why is he in a towel? All right, so that's crazy. I didn't know that part. So he allegedly punched her in the face during a freak off in the Los Angeles hotel in 2016. At an elevator bank, Combs throws Ventura to the floor, kicks her, stomps on her, and attempts to drag her back to the room before grabbing what appears to be a vase off the table and hurl it in her direction. Ventura describes the incident in her lawsuit and alleges that Combs paid the hotel $50K to obtain the footage. Quote unquote, after years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships, Ventura said in a statement accompanying her lawsuit. This was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. As Ventura's damning allegations were on the verge of going public, Combs was strategizing, according to Jones, who produced multiple songs on Combs' Grammy-nominated 2023 album, the Love album, Off the Grid. That's I think that's Lil Rod. Quote unquote, he detailed how he planned to leverage his relationship with celebrity pastor Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact of his image. Jones wrote in a sworn declaration in April. Jakes did not reply, so T.D. Jakes didn't reply to them hitting him up neither. Publicly, Combs seemingly jumped into overdrive, producing positive press. He fulfilled his $1 million promises to his alma mater, Howard University, and the football program at another historically black college, Jackson State University. He launched Empowerment Global, an e-commerce platform for black entrepreneurs, and then dropping his new album proclaiming he was in his quote-unquote love era. I knew it was something about that nigga calling himself Love. I knew it, bro. Like, when a nigga try to switch exactly who they is, something didn't happen. It's something, bro. Like, niggas grow, I get it, but that's a fool. Now you just, all of a sudden, you a whole new nigga named Love. I mean, we know you Diddy, Puff Daddy, but now you all about love and, like, come on, my nigga. Why? Like, what happened? Like, even if, like, you know, that's how, I mean, maybe I'm just a suspicious ass nigga, but I'm like, nigga, that's a 360. He announced that he was giving bad boy artists and songwriters their publishing rights back. In parentheses, only some artists say they were offered rights back, and Danity Kane's Aubrey O'Day said she refused because her offer came with a mandatory non-disclosure agreement. So he was gonna get them niggas they did their money back, but they can't say shit about nothing. A year after what up, Glock baby? I see you. Oh, you just won 5 on the prize picks? My dog, salute. Damn, I gotta get on my prize picks. A year before the breakup with Combs, Ventura conceptualized a short film titled Cassie that appears telling in hindsight, in a voiceover speaking about the film's fictionalized name, romance, she says, how do you just walk away from it and escape it? I just want to be free. So she was trapped. The hotel security footage prompted horrified reactions around the world. Forced to acknowledge his actions, Combs made a rare admission of guilt, but tailored it into the indictment. But tailored it into that indictment. Quote unquote, I was fucked up. Hold on, let me do it like him. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. And I ain't make no excuses. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. Faking ass nigga. He claimed he went to therapy and rehab and was truly sorry. Ventoria's lawyers said Combs' apology showed his pathetic desperation. Many who watched footage of the assault were stunned, even those who's known Combs for years. LaJoyce Brookshire, the former publicity director for Arista and Bad Boy, says she was disturbed to learn that these type of actions could have occurred and that Puffy could stand in my face the next day with a straight face. That shakes me to my core. Several women who attended Howard with Combs, however, had seen signs of a controlling and abusive personality decades ago. Combs started at the esteemed college in the fall of 1987 and quickly earned a reputation for throwing legendary rowdy parties, flamboyant and boisterous. He was often seen driving his convertible around campus and passing out flyers. Though he left after his sophomore year, Combs turned Howard into a pipeline for his enterprises, teaming up with future label execs and producers Harv Pierre, Mark Pitts, Derek D. How you say his name? Angelique, all key figures in Bad Boy's early success. Shantae Page, a former A&R for Universal Motown Recording Group, was among those who say they had positive experiences with Combs at Howard, calling his quote-unquote iconic parties a quote-unquote once-in-a-lifetime type of vibe. He was a go-getter from the start, she says, always in the know. But other women described previously unreported incidents involving unwanted touching and fits of rage. Smash them likes, y'all. Smash them likes. What up, gangland? What's the deal? Yeah, we reading that new controversial article. Don't nobody got the full article. I mean, somebody probably got it, but I figured I might as well come on and just share it with y'all. And this is my first time reading it too, so I'm kind of like, what is we about to find out? Because this shit it gets deep. So from when I was getting it, I was like, what the fuck? I was just looking at titles and shit, like, what the fuck? But other women described previously unreported incidents involving unwanted touching and fits of rage. One woman says she kept as far away as possible after Combs caressed her back without warning and asked if she would be willing to meet one of his friends. Another former student recalled that Combs flew off the handle as she objected to him cutting a cafeteria line. While the moments may seem small, they show flashes of danger that will soon explode. A third former student recalls how the future mogul would tap on the window of an English class to get a girlfriend to ditch. The visits became noticeably unwelcome. The classmate tells Rolling Stone, quote unquote, she would tense up when Combs would appear. The student who sat next to, I'm tweaking. The student who sat next to, oh man, my bad, y'all. The woman in class recalls, he just had a weird control thing. I felt like she was fearful. The classmate who requested anonymity due to fear says her concerns were validated when Combs appeared outside the school's Harriet Tubman quadrangle dorm and started screaming in a belligerent manner for his girlfriend to come outside. The classmate says other women soon began running through the halls, knocking on doors in panic. They were sounding the alarm that Combs, known then by the name Puff, was attacking the young woman outside. So he beating up bitches in college. They run around, Puffy's coming! Everybody! He's coming, he's here! Ah! It was like fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to paint the picture. That's what they saying. This is when he was at Howard University. That's crazy. Like, they running around, singing, rounding the, what they call it, sounding the alarm. Ah! Ah! Puffy's back! Like, you know, type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. Yeah, Omar off the wire. Exactly, Cardiac. Shout out Lord Cardiac. Exactly. Oh, yo, Omar coming. It's Puffy, though. Like, this nigga scaring the bitches. He the nigga that's gonna scare the bitch. Bro, that's nigga, you don't even want that nigga around. He be scaring the bitch. You touching the bitches, bro. Stop. What the fuck is you like? Man, I couldn't be around nigga like that because I be talking. I keep it going like, hey, bro. Stop all that weird shit, bro. Like, I don't care how rich you, like, bro, you touching on the bitches and shit. Like, bro, the bitches is scared of you, my dog. Like, you can't even have that nigga around. You got to cut that nigga off. So, this what they quote unquote said. Puff is out here acting crazy. He's beating her. the fellow student said according to the classmate. Quote unquote, he screamed and hollered and acted like a stone fool until she came downstairs. Another Howard student who witnessed the alleged attack tells Rolling Stone. She says Combs used what appeared to be a belt to strike young women all over the place. Yo, this nigga, he was whipping girls with belts? What the None of these women had brothers, or like, he should have been shot a long time ago. Or beat the fuck up, like real. He should have been banked. Nigga should have banked his ass. Like, he should have been beat the fuck up. Real talk, like. She says Combs used what appeared to be a belt to strike the young woman all over the place. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, which means anonymous, because they don't want to, this person. Due to the sensitive nature of the incident, the witness said Combs appeared super angry and was screaming at the top of his lungs. She says he whooped her butt. Like, really, whooped her butt, quote unquote. The witness says the woman was clearly terrorized, quote unquote. She was trying to defend herself a little bit. She was crying. And we were telling him, get off her. We were screaming for her. A third source also recalled the alleged assault to Rolling Stone. The women at the center of the alleged attack declined to comment. So the girl who they saying was getting beat, this is all his former college friends. Not all of them, but a few girls that know him from college and people who seen it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they want to be anonymous. It don't sound far-fetched to me. It's not like they saying that he was out there pistol whipping. I mean, that wouldn't even be far-fetched, but Puffy ain't really on some gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So now we about to get into another phase of the story where they kind of give you, I'm guessing this is like a little background on Puff. Combs was born with a short fuse, telling Jet magazine he earned his nickname as a kid because he would, quote unquote, always huff and puff when he got mad. Quote unquote, this is what Puffy said. I had a temper. That's why my friends started calling me Puffy. His mom, Janice, a former kindergarten teacher, described him as a ham. What does that mean? Who does anybody know what the fuck ham means? That's like an old school saying. Like, does that mean crazy or something? Go mayhem or something? I don't know. Combs barely knew his father, Melvin, a handsome drug dealer working for a Harlem kingpin. He was murdered in 1972 at the age of 33, when Combs was just a toddler. Throughout the years, Combs mourned the loss of his father figure, but Melvin had a profound influence on him nonetheless, quote unquote. This is what Puff said, I'm thinking. Even if we don't know our parents, we still have that DNA in us. We have their genes, Combs said. I have his hustler's mentality, his hustler's spirit, his drive, his determination, his swag. Take that, take that. When Janice moved the family from Harlem to the suburb of Mount Vernon, 12 miles north, Combs straddled disparate worlds. In one, he was a defensive back on the football team at his all-boys Catholic high. That nigga went to Catholic school? Why niggas ain't... Now, I don't got nothing against Catholic, but I know anything that's related to... Listen, I ain't trying to... I'm just saying. I know how them Catholic priests... I don't even want to get into religion. I'm just saying. That nigga was at... That's like... You was a rich kid, nigga. You went to fucking Catholic school, my nigga. He was a defensive back on the football team at his all-boys. Oh, he went to an all-boys joint. You know they was having freak... That's where the freak-off started, probably. In the all-boys high school. You know how that shit go at the Catholic shit? Who was that one nigga? He dead now. The old white man, he was touching boys at the Catholic university. I don't know. He on the basketball team, some shit like that, right? In the shower. Oh, y'all know who I'm talking about. He dead. This was like, fuck it. We on Puffy. Pause. No Diddy. No Diddy. In the other, he rode a train to the city, immersing himself in its burgeoning hip-hop scene, quote unquote. I didn't know exactly what he would do, but he was blasting me out of the house with his mixing kit. I bought him. Oh, this is mom. Okay, I'm sorry. This is Puffy mom. I didn't know exactly what he would do, but he was blasting me out the house with his mixing kit I bought when he was 13, making that noise, scratching those records. Janice told Vibe in 1993. Janice is his mother. Smash them lights. We got 500 people. Everybody hit them lights. Go hit them 3 dots right there and run them fucking lights up, nigga. I'm really in here giving y'all that shit now. I ain't did no public reading shit like this, I don't think, ever, for real. This not this extensive. This is worth it though. I know, and nobody else is talking about this shit fully. So we have to, and I want to see what the fuck is going on because so far this he beating bitches with belts in college and like what the fuck is this nigga doing? Why he ain't been shot yet? I'm trying to understand. Like, let's see. Okay, so this is a piece of the article from Tiffany Red, which is the writer friend of Cassie, and she went on like Good Morning America. If you've seen her, she was a friend of it. Combs' ascent at Uptown is by now part. Oh no, I'm tweaking. So this is what she said. It's not like we were negotiating. Oh yeah, I already read that. I'm not even gonna read those quotes. That's just like quotes in between the article. You know, it's like High Magazine. Anyways, my fault. Combs' ascent at Uptown is by now part of his lore. He helped newcomers Mary J. Blige and Jodeci go multi-platinum after reshaping their images. He reinvented and the remix and ushered hip-hop soul into the cultural lexicon. He threw exclusive daddy house parties at the since-shuttered Manhattan hip-hop club Red Zone that even his older Uptown colleagues jockey to attend. Quote unquote. He had the ability to convince people that whatever he was doing or wherever he was, that was the hot shit. Dan Charnas, author of The Big Payback, The History of Business and Hip-Hop. He's an author. He understood more than anyone how the innovations of hip-hop, specifically sampling and using classic records as a basis for R&B songs, would be really powerful for a generation. As Combs' star was rising at Uptown, his predatory instincts resurfaced, according to the sexual assault lawsuit filed by Joy Dickerson Neal last November. Dickerson Neal acted opposite Combs in a 1990 music video and received what she considered a warning from the Bronx rapper Sister Soldier to keep her distance, quote unquote, given his infamous reputation. Let me take a drink. Somebody should have shot that nigga. I mean, I don't want to say that. I'm saying somebody should have beat that. How did he escape from getting beat? Even like he was doing this shit when he wasn't famous. Nobody called all their male cousins. None of these girls. Hey, this nigga up here, the niggas from the hood, like you know what I'm saying? Daddy house, right? Why? Think about this way he named shit. Daddy house. Take that. Take that. Like he was always a little, you know what I'm talking about? Overly zesty a little bit, you know? All right. Dickerson Neal says she reluctantly agreed to a dinner date with Combs in January 1991 while she was in college. While she was a college student paying for her studies with the restaurant job. Weary of being alone with him, she requested they dine where she worked. She alleges Combs spiked her drink when she used the restroom and later pressured her into taking a hit off a blunt. This nigga's a different type of nigga, bro. She says her legs went rubbery a short time later and that Combs RAPE'd her at a nearby residence. She also claims Combs filmed the attack and showed the video to others like a trophy. All right, so then they wrote, through a rep, Combs denied the allegations at the time. This 32-year-old story is made up and not credible, is what Diddy said. He said that story is made up and not credible. Combs' lawyers have moved to dismiss portions of the lawsuit, calling the allegation false, offensive, and salacious. Mike Nice Lewis, who worked with Dickerson Neal at the short-lived PMD Records, tells Rolling Stone that she confided in him at the office about the alleged sexual assault in the early 1990s. Combs and Bad Boys came up in the conversation, and Lewis says Dickerson Neal's demeanor abruptly changed. Lewis claims Dickerson Neal told him that she had a very bad sexual experience with Combs, keeping her head down as she talked. Quote unquote, I believe Joy, he says. I just knew from what she was telling me that it still affected her even 2 years later, added Michelle Caola, attorney for Dickerson Neal, and another accuser, Crystal McKinney. The amount of irreparable harm to my clients' mental health and professional lives cannot be overstated. Within hours of Dickerson Neal's filing her complaint, another woman sued Combs for RAPE. Liza Gardner claimed she was 16 in 1990 when she and a friend met Combs, an uptown singer-songwriter, Aaron Hall, at an MCA Records event in Manhattan. Gardner alleges the men were very flirtatious and handsy, feeding the girls drinks and inviting them to Hall's residence for an after party. She alleges Combs offered her more alcohol at Hall's home in New Jersey and forced her into sex despite her protests. While she was still shocked and traumatized trying to get dressed, Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and RAPE'd her too. So these niggas are freak off sexual assault buddies. Aaron Hall, if y'all know who Aaron Hall is, he a singer. Right. Yeah, he did date Lori Harvey, him and his son. That's why I'm like, niggas just, you know what, when niggas is handsy, like they man niggas touching all over the bitch, bro. Like if that nigga, if you ever, bro, that's a nigga couldn't even be around me, bro. You scaring the bitches, bro. Like, bro, get your creep, like, for real, bro. Cause you know the girls gonna come back, hey man, your friend, girls always come to you, hey, y'all cool, but that nigga, they wait till they go to the bathroom or go to the store to get some backwoods or something. Yeah, that nigga, man, you gotta get that nigga up out of here, man. Yeah, that nigga can't, you know what I mean? It's over with for him. It's dead. While she was still shocked and traumatized trying to get dressed, Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and he RAPE'd her too, Gardner claims. An irate Combs later showed up where she was standing and began choking her until she almost passed out. Combs feared the woman would tell his girlfriend what he and Hall had done, the lawsuit claims. Combs' legal team denied Gardner's allegation, calling them a money grab. But another woman who said she was with Gardner that night of the alleged attack corroborated many details of Gardner's lawsuit in a sworn affidavit. Let me get some water. That's a lot of motherfucking reading, man. Yeah, the niggas are serious, bro. They got teams of these niggas, bro. But you know what they say? Birds of a feather flock together. All the Crips hang with all the Crips. All the LGB niggas hang with all the LGB. All the basketball players hang with all, you know what I'm saying? All the rappers hang, birds of a feather flock together. So the grapers, them niggas be hanging out. Them niggas, they got shit in common. They got to keep each other secrets and shit. That's what they say, all the smart niggas hang with all the smart niggas. It's just different, right? All right. Combs' legal team denied Gardner's allegations, calling them a quote-unquote money grab. But another woman who said she was with Gardner the night of the alleged attack corroborated many details of Gardner's lawsuit in a sworn affidavit filed in mid-May. The woman, who was the younger sister of the friend mentioned in Gardner's complaint, said she has a photo herself with Gardner and Hall from the evening in question. She recalled frantically looking around Hall's apartment for her sister and Gardner after they disappeared with Combs and Hall. The then 15-year-old said she walked into the room and saw a man watching whatever Puffy was doing to Liza. The woman wrote that she awoke the next morning at a different location where an upset Gardner says Combs had just shown up there and choked her. Aaron Hall refused to respond to this article, so he didn't even say nothing. Back in the Uptown office, Combs' inflated ego, outsized opinions, and Machiavellian scheming were becoming a problem for his peers, which means he think he Machiavelli like type shit. He went from internally divisive to openly controversial in December 1991 when he and Heavy D helped organize a celebrity charity basketball game at City College of New York that left 9 people dead, aged 15 to 28, and dozens injured in a stampede. Combs shrieked responsibility, claiming he had tried to enlist help from the NYPD and that I never heard of that. I didn't know that people died of some shit that he threw back in the day. I never knew that. He tried to enlist help from the NYPD and that he had personally administered CPR to several people, but an incident report ordered by then Mayor David Dinkins faulted him for allowing inexperienced underlings to handle the event planning and found that reckless over promotion had drawn too many people without tickets to the event. With the city investigating possible criminal charges, lawsuits mounting, and rivals pushing Harrell to cut Combs loose, the Uptown exec urged Combs to lie low. A terrified Combs spent months holed up in a Manhattan hotel with his mother, according to Kurt Burrows, Bad Boy's co-founding partner and president. And then it says Burrows was fired from Bad Boy in 1997. In 2003, he sued Combs for allegedly threatening him with a baseball bat and coercing him into signing over his stake in the company. His claims were dismissed as beyond the statute of limitations. So this nigga, he really think he was a real live gangster. See, he's this man, he can do that shit to them industry. I don't want to disrespect the, like them nerd niggas. I wish a nigga, bitch, I'm gonna take the bat and beat you with it. Bitch, we gonna be in here fighting, motherfucker. You ain't about to coerce me to do shit, nigga. You got a bet, I'm picking up a fucking, whatever, a knife, nigga. What we gonna do? How we gonna do this, nigga? You know what I'm saying? See, these people they was kind of scared of this nigga, bro. Yeah, he could pick the right motherfuckers. Picking on Kid Cudi and like, man, pick on some real niggas. Nigga been to pop your ass, nigga. In worst case scenario, nigga been to shot your bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, bro. And I ain't trying to, I'm just saying, bro, this nigga, I feel like he bullying these industry people and these like suburban motherfuckers and shit. No, he won't try that shit with certain other motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? After the controversy subsided and Combs returned to Uptown, he considered himself Harrell's heir apparent, which means his next up. But his access to his mentor was restricted. He spent much of 1992 producing Mary J. Blige's landmark debut, What's the 411, gaining redemption in that album's acclaim. Around this time, he founded his own Uptown imprint, Bad Boy Entertainment, where he could sign his own artists and make extra cash. Burrows remembers jealous Uptown execs referring to Combs as Satan and flipping him off as they walked by his small offices. Yo, these niggas called him Satan back in fucking 1990, like at Uptown, at his prior label. Like, niggas can make up a lot of different nicknames. They call you Satan, it's crazy. They give you the middle finger while they walking past your shit. He was a hated nigga, like. Harrell soured on him too. As Woodley recalls, Harrell said, I'm gonna fire Puff. He's getting a little too big for himself. He's bothering people. With pressure mounting, Harrell fired Combs in July 1993. Uptown was supposed to oversee the album release of Combs' new assignee, Biggie Smalls, but Combs was free to find a new home for his fledgling label. The termination was devastating for Combs, Burrows says, leaving the 23-year-old crying buckets of tears outside the office. He loved Andre, Burrows says. He loved Uptown. He didn't understand where Bad Boy was going to be. Quote unquote, this is what Puffy said. I cried for a couple days and felt like I wanted to jump off of, I don't even want to say that because we're on YouTube. They might say I'm trying to tell y'all to do that. He said he wanted to jump off of whatever, something high. Combs told Rolling Stone, ooh, they using his own Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone, a dirty bitch. Rolling Stone, an interview, and then if they get on your ass later, they gonna use you, dirty motherfuckers over there, Rolling Stone. Y'all some dirty bitches. Hey, I ain't mad at y'all about this one though. I cried for a couple of days and felt like I wanted to jump off. He said, my bad, I said that. He told Rolling Stone 1995. I think at times I was hard to work with, ... Possibly I was doing shit that an asshole would do, just abusing the power. But that was only a little bit of the time. So this nigga, he don't even realize how, like, nigga, you think it's a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You think it's a little bit, but nigga, everybody else saying it's a lot of shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised they didn't kill a soundboy that. Bumbuckler. Okay, here we go. All right, number 2. I think it's 6 parts of this. This is part number 2. I think it's fucking on my chapter again. Fuck. I'm gonna keep reading, so I can't take it no more. Pause, no Diddy. Cast out of Uptown and blamed for a tragedy that claimed 9 lives, Combs could have faded into obscurity, but he was scrappy and determined, quickly securing the reported $10 million deal from Arista Records, Clive Davis, that kept Bad Boy Entertainment alive. How the fuck he get $10 million And he ain't even make a nigga yet. All he had was Biggie. He helped with Mary J. He helped with Jodeci. But that wasn't just him by himself. Nigga was sucking dick. Nigga was sucking dick or something on it. What the fuck? Somebody okay, I guess so. And then clap, whatever. Now he was helming a skeleton crew eager to turn artists into superstars and cement hip-hop as a mainstream genre. While the world did not understand the power of hip-hop, I was working in it and watching it unfold, says Michelle Joyce, Bad Boy's first director of marketing. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it wasn't if it was going to pop, it was when. Like it was going sooner or later, we said. It wasn't easy. Hours were brutal, pay was low, and the workload was intense. The next summer, only 1 year after Combs' dismissal from Uptown, their hard work paid off. With Craig Mack's ubiquitous Flavor in Your Ear and Biggie's One More Chance, in the next 3 years, Bad Boy will become the premier label for upcoming hip-hop and R&B artists, churning out chart-topping albums from Faith Evans, Total, 112, and soundtracking clubs and radio stations nationwide. And in Wallace, Bad Boy had a budding superstar. Biggie Smalls, the storytelling genius with effortless flow. Still, Combs was volatile. Barrow West said he once saw Combs attack a woman inside Bad Boy office in 1994. He and another ex-employee tell Rolling Stone they had to tear Combs off the women after hearing screams and the sound of shattering glass. The woman declined Rolling Stone's request for comment. Felicia Newsom, the first manager of Bad Boy's recording studio, Daddy's House, says she once held Combs back when he was about to beat this girl's ass after a fight broke out between two women. Quote unquote, I'm holding him by his waist, telling him, you need to calm down. This is not your fight, Newsom recalls. Former Arista intern April Lampros, we know who that's the white chick. Damn, I didn't know she worked I thought she was just around, okay. Claims Combs turned violent with her too. In a lawsuit filed in May, Lampros alleges Combs attacked her in a parking garage in mid-1990s, forcing her to give him head, essentially. It was one of our 4 horrific sexual assaults, she says, she endured during their on-off relationship with Combs. As Bad Boy was on the rise, staffers kept Combs' transgressions quiet. Whether out of loyalty, fear, or belief that such incidents were rare, outwardly, he was the label's unceasing hype man, ad-libbing on tracks and making cameos in his artist videos. It was clear he wanted something bigger for himself. I distinctively remember the day that Clive Davis called and asked me to start garnering press for Puffy, just as if he were the artist, says Brookshire. Quote unquote, behind his back, I used to call him my problem child, the notorious VIP. She said she was called the notorious VIP. Combs got all of the press he wanted when he and his LA counterpart, Death Row Records boss, Marion Suge Knight, became entangled in a years-long heavyweight hip-hop fight. The pair had been once friendly. Combs even modeled Bad Boy after Death Row, he told Rolling Stone in 1997. But the subsequent rivalry between Biggie and Knight's charismatic superstar, Tupac Shakur, would turn into a Pyrrhic victory for both labels. Combs was fond of Shakur, admiring his ability to marry street credibility with mainstream appeal. Burroughs notes that the Bad Boy team spent the summer of 1993 studying the rapper's buoyant hit, I Get Around, as a blueprint for a commercial hip-hop record. Despite the beat taken seriously, Combs tried to foster a friendship, but Shakur wasn't interested. Quote unquote, Pac didn't have any kind of respect for Puff, says 90s hip-hop photographer Monique Bunn, who was close with Wallace and other Bad Boy artists. To Shakur and even Wallace, Bunn says Combs was a corny executive. Instead, Shakur bonded with Wallace, whom he viewed as his peer. Burris remembers, as a result, he says, referring to Combs, there was someone on the sidelines jealous. The friendship would be short-lived after Shakur was ambushed and shot 5 times in the lobby of Quad Studios in Times Square in 1994. He blamed Combs and Bad Boy crew for setting him up, which Combs has always denied. From there, everyone got blown out of proportion. Everything got blown out of proportion, Bun says. Bad Boy execs started encouraging Wallace to write certain songs, Burwood said, despite the rapper not feeling so beefy with his former friend. With tensions frothing, Combs released Wallace's single Who Shot You in 1995. It was widely viewed as a sneering provocation aimed at Tupac, though Biggie was adamant it wasn't. Tupac responded with the furious hit 'em up, pushing hostilities to their peak. Perhaps seemingly a promotional play, Combs stoked the East Coast West Coast rivalry. The two labels, the fuck, my bad, y'all. Smash them lights. What up, Westside? What up? Yeah, we in here reading this shit. Perhaps seeing a promotional play, Combs stoked the East-West Coast rivalry. The two label heads traded jabs, with Knight cast as the intimidated cigar-chomping gang-affiliated boss and Combs the slick, clean-cut executive. When a 25-year-old Tupac was murdered in September 1996 in a drive-by in Las Vegas, Knight immediately pointed the finger at Combs, who denied involvement. Some Bad Boy employees received personal death threats soon after, quote-unquote. I didn't recall reading in the employee manual that dodging bullets was part of my job description, Brookshire says. And it says, quote-unquote, in parentheses, last September, Compton Crips gang member Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was charged with Shakur's murder. His trial is set to begin in November. Davis has claimed Combs offered him $1 million to kill Tupac. Combs vehemently denies. Do y'all believe Keefe D on that? Because I always thought, like, why would Keefe D even... For some reason, I feel like that nigga ain't lying. Not saying, I'm not trying to say Keefe D ain't even... He not even, like... I don't know. I don't know. I always had a feeling like... Because, I don't know. Whatever. 6 months later, after Shakur's death, in March 1987, Wallace, 24, was attending a Soul Train Music Awards after party in L.A., when a gunman opened fire on his GMC Suburban, killing him. Police considered the homicide an unsolved act of retaliation. Multiple reports allege Wallace had been preparing to leave Bad Boy shortly before his death. It didn't help that Combs had been fighting with Wallace attorneys who were trying to wrest back the rapper's publishing rights. Quote unquote, I would never give it up until I'm dead and my bones are crushed into powder. That's what Diddy told Biggie lawyers when they was asking for his motherfucking publishing rights. He said he ain't giving that shit up till he die, until his bones is powder. That nigga's a scam artist, bro. I know for a fact because he told me that, another source adds. Everybody wanted to leave Puffy. Everybody leaves him. Combs capitalized on the shock and sorrow of Biggie's death. Brookshire, who had been traveling in the same SUV as Wallace during the press events the day before he died, says Combs denied her request for that time off to process her grief. Instead, just 2 weeks after the slaying, she says Combs ordered her to focus all her efforts on Wallace's upcoming album, Life After Death. Combs demanded to be number one, top 10, top 10, top 10, top 10. She recalls he was saying to her. It sold nearly 700,000 copies in its first week. When Rolling Stone approached Bad Boy about a cover opportunity a few months after Biggie's murder, Burris claims he advocated for the late rapper to take the spot. I was telling Sean, let's make it Biggie. You still have a chance, Burris recalls. He's like, nah, he's dead. I'm putting out my album. Fuck that nigga, basically. Y'all smash them likes too. Shout out, man. We done had about 10,000 people, man. Hit them 3 dots if you're on your mobile device. Hit them 3 motherfucking dots. Hit that thumbs up. If you on a regular shit, Hit the thumbs up. If you want to replay, hit the thumbs up. I'm bringing y'all this exclusive shit, man. When Rolling Stone approached Bad Boy, oh my bad, yeah. So yeah, his president of marketing or publicist or whatever told him, let's put Biggie on the cover. He just got killed. Diddy was like, nah, put me on the cover, nigga. I'm about to drop this album, nigga. That nigga dead. That's what she said. He said. Combs got his cover, and 2 years later, he acknowledged how Biggie's death had been big business, quote unquote. I think his passing added to the fame, Combs told Rolling Stone in 1999. At least 2 million sold were due to his death, straight up, and that doesn't necessarily feel good, but that's the reality. That's my Diddy voice when I do that shit. That's my Diddy voice. No Diddy. That's my Diddy voice. No Diddy. Even Death Row's fearsome boss, who's currently serving a 28-year manslaughter sentence and has been labeled the boogeyman of hip-hop, says Combs' behavior was distasteful. This is what Suge said, quote unquote. When Pac left, I didn't pick up a microphone, Suge said on his prison podcast. I picked up the pieces. Damn, that's real. That's real right there, bro. I got some chapsticks. Get the motherfucking Carmax, nigga. All right. Part 3. So we halfway through it, y'all. We halfway through it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Smash them likes. People did whatever he said to stay in his good graces. Part 3. In the late 90s, fans regularly gathered outside Daddy's House studio in Midtown Manhattan, waiting to see a famous face or pass along a mixtape, quote unquote. We had built this machine, the hottest hip hop label in the world, and people started to jockey to get next to Puffy, Joyce says. As the new millennium dawned, hip hop entered its bling era, with Combs and his artists mining the melodies of 1980s pop songs to guarantee commercial hits. They wore matching shiny suits, spit raps about designer socks and yachts, draped themselves in diamonds, and filled their big budget videos with fawning women and bombastic pyrotechnics. The label was thriving off Biggie's legacy and bolstered by rising stars Mace, Shine, and rest in peace Black Rob. Combs won Grammys and was nominated for his work with outside artists Mariah Carey and R. Kelly. He also entered the upper echelons of New York society, partying with Revlon billionaire Ron Perlman and Donald Trump. There was a certain narcissism, quote unquote, an attitude of objectifying not just women, but all people, and wanting to be with other men who enjoy moving around like chess pieces, Charnas says of Combs, adding that he was the quote unquote standard bearer for hip hop as capitalism and social mobility play. Becoming a dominant force in the industry only seemed to amplify Combs' bullying behavior. In April 1999, he barged into the office of Interscope Records executive Steve Stout and allegedly turned violent. Combs was furious that Stout didn't cut him from the crucifixion scene in a Nas video, You Can Hate Me Now. I just played it the other day. Before sending it to MTV. Quote unquote, this is what Steve Stout said. He punched me in the face and then he grabbed the phone and bashed me in the head with it, Steve Stout recounted to the LA Times. Combs privately settled with Stout reportedly for $500,000 and dodged a 7-year prison sentence by pleading to a reduced charge of harassment. How the fuck you beat the shit out of, bro, at least they'll say simple assault. Harassment and you beat a nigga with the phone is crazy. Yeah, that's money. Now they'll drop it down, but it'd be like something like simple assault, not like, you know, assault with a deadly weapon or something, you know what I'm saying? They get that nigga harassment for beating a nigga with a phone. You know that nigga rich. Nigga like me or you, we going to prison. It's sayonara. You beat a nigga in the fucking head with a phone? Like, come on, gang. Niggas was letting him get away with all that shit. That's why, but that's how he got caught up. He kept getting away with everything. And that's usually how it happens for motherfuckers. You keep getting away with everything, not just sexual shit, but just eventually you get your luck gonna run out, nigga. The word to the wise, to all my youngins and to all my niggas in the streets, or to my niggas, you can't get away with it forever, my dog. They got a saying, quit while you ahead. Take heed. That summer, Combs released his second album, Forever. I had that album. That's the one with the Public Enemy #1. That was that one. The album's critical and commercial failure, they said it was a failure. It sold less than half what its predecessor did, hardly diminished Combs' star power. A few months later in December, Combs was arrested after a nightclub shooting in which 3 people were injured. His newest starter, Shine, aka Jamal Michael Barrow, was convicted of firing the shots and sentenced to 10 years. He was then deported. Combs, meanwhile, was charged with weapons possession and attempted robbery after he and then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez fled the shooting in a Lincoln Navigator that reportedly ran 11 red lights. He was trying to get out of there. Drive, motherfucker, drive, motherfucker. What was that movie? What was that movie where he said drive, motherfucker, drive, motherfucker, drive? Was it New Jersey Drive or Boys in the Hood or something? Menace? Drive, motherfucker, drive, motherfucker, drive. Classic. Combs was facing up to 15 years if convicted. Kevin Rogers Francis, a host at Combs' restaurant Justin's, who did marketing work for Combs' short-lived magazine Notorious, recalls the mogul scrambling for money, shuttering the magazine, and hitting the restaurant's drawers for cash in what Francis presumed was an effort to cover hefty legal bills. The prosecutor claimed Combs offered cash to witnesses after some said Combs was the shooter. Victim Natania Rubin has been adamant that Combs fired the bullet that tore through her nose. This nigga out here shooting motherfuckers in the nose and the face like this. He got away with a lot, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The average niggas definitely would have been in jail for a lot of this shit. Combs' own driver testified that Combs offered him $50,000 using a $40,000 pinky ring as collateral if he would say he owned the unlicensed gun found in the SUV. Others have claimed Combs paid as much as $1 million to borrow, which is Sean, through an intermediary to buy his silence. Shine denied it. After a 6-week trial, Combs was acquitted in March 2001. With his mounting scandals, a tabloid relationship with Lopez, and the popularity of his Sean John clothing line, which launched in 1998, Combs entered the pop culture stratosphere. It became a point of pride to work for Bad Boy, says former employee Flash Rodriguez. It wasn't just a company, it was a lifestyle. But Combs was difficult to work for. Employers who wanted to stick around had to learn how to speak puffy, Brookshire and multiple sources say, a demanding boss. Combs often yelled to get his point across and fired employees on a whim, quote unquote. No one on his team at Bad Boy spoke back to him. Former Daddy's House studio manager Newsom says, no one challenged him. Another source recalls Mace, whose real name Mason Betha, calling Combs. Mace was calling that nigga Diddy Massa behind his back. Damn. It's funny because they can call somebody else Massa nowadays. But that's a whole nother stream. He was so volatile, says a source who sometimes worked with Bad Boy. He's always on the edge of snapping and being scary. People did whatever he said to stay in his good graces. And Puffy exploited people's desires to be in those environments. All right, we're on part 4. Part 4, y'all. We got 2 more parts after this. The title of this one is, Why is nobody saying anything? Are they that scared of him? After Combs' acquittal in the nightclub shooting in 2001, he reportedly headed back to church. He later made a less God-fearing visit to the Peninsula Hotel where he was throwing a massive bash to celebrate the verdict. It was there that Anna, quote unquote, a freelance graphic designer working with Bad Boy's marketing team, says Combs approached her and began to massage her shoulders. Told you, this the nigga that be, bro, this the nigga, you can't hang around like, you gotta kick them niggas, like, bro, stop touching the bitches, bro. Did she say touch it? Did she give you any kind of something to touch it? You drunk in here scaring all the fucking women, bro. Get the fuck out. We would have been sunning that nigga, bro. He wouldn't even been in, he couldn't even hang around for a minute. He wouldn't have motherfucking made it. Real talk, you keep groping the bitches, bro. You know, like I'm saying, you know the girls gonna tell you when the nigga leave the room. Hey, y'all cool, but get that weird nigga out of here. Like, stop bringing him around. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what was going on, type shit. Massage, right? Yeah, he started massaging her shoulders. And she didn't want to say her name out of fear of retribution in this article. Quote unquote, I'm getting touched on my shoulders, my arms, my back. And he's like, oh yeah, you like that? I know you like that. Take that, take that. He really says this shit in real life, nigga. Oh yeah, you like that. I know you like that. Like, really, really gross, Anna recalls sharing her story publicly for the first time. I was like, no. I mean, she said, I was like, not so much. And I sort of floated my way out of there. Anna says she avoided Combs the rest of the night. Weeks later, her boss girlfriend confided that Combs allegedly approached the boss the night of the party to solicit me for sex, Anna says. Okay. I felt quite unsettled about this for many years. When people ask me about my days at Bad Boy, it's just overshadowed by his crap, Anna says, adding that Combs treated her as though she existed to accommodate his whims. Combs often flaunted his sexual encounters, even if underage artists were around to see. Boom, boom, boom. A teenage usher briefly lived at Combs' New York house in the early 90s. I said the 90s. I said it just how I spelled. In the early 90s, as a young Bad Boy protege, quote unquote, this is what Usher said. Puff introduced me to a totally different set of shit. Sex specifically. He said that? Usher recalled the Rolling Stone in 2004. There was always girls around. You open the door and see somebody doing it, or several people in the room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen. He in there having kids, seeing, come on, man. Casey Sheridan, a member of the teenage girl band Dream, recalls the group being summoned for a meeting with Combs to a Beverly Hills hotel bungalow when she was 15 and awkwardly eyeing a purse and a pair of heels by the front door as the group waited. After 20 minutes, a bathrobe Combs emerged from a nearby room, quote unquote. It's like you can't even keep your innocence. I'm 15 walking into the situation knowing exactly what he was doing next door. Real freak of nature, man. Freaky ass nigga here, 69 God. Feeding off his fame and power, Combs appeared to be pushing his most sickening impulses even further. Model Crystal McKinney was photographed during the star-studded Sean John fashion show in February 2003. Hours later, according to her recent lawsuit, Combs said she was acting too uptight, and he pressured her to take a hit from a lace joint. She alleges he then forced her to perform oral sex on him, despite her resistance. The night sent McKinney into a tailspin of anxiety and depression. This nigga is crazy, bro. That she says resulted in she tried to unalive herself after that. Diddy forced her to give him head, and she did, and she tried to unalive herself after that. She said, quote unquote, I had a whole future in modeling mapped out that was stolen from me. Being sexually assaulted and having no recourse is so painful, McKinnon tells Rolling Stone. I felt like I was dying every day because I did not yet have the strength to come forward. I hope that by speaking out, I can help other survivors come forward and seek justice. Not long after, between the spring and fall of 2003, a 17-year-old girl was out one night with friends at a Detroit area lounge when a man in a suit approached and allegedly introduced himself as Combs' best friend. The man purportedly called Combs and let the girl speak directly to the famed producer who was twice her age. The man alleged to be former Bad Boy president Harve Pierre convinced the girl to board a private jet and take the 2-hour flight to Teterboro, New Jersey. just outside of New York City, to meet Combs in person. According to a lawsuit filed last December by the girl, now an adult Jane Doe plaintiff. Then a high school junior, she was awestruck by the opportunity documenting the trip with photos from inside Daddy's house, where she's seen pretending to record a song, pointing at Combs' initials on the wall, and sitting on Combs' lap. We seen that. The photos were included in the lawsuit to corroborate the woman's allegations that she was gang RAP'd that night by Pierre and Combs and a third unidentified man inside the recording studio. The woman claims the men plied her with drugs and alcohol until she was nearly unconscious and unable to consent. As she started to black out, she claims Combs led her to the bathroom where he removed her skirt and underwear and he penetrated her from the back. As she drifted in and out, the unnamed assailant replaced Combs and he RAP'd her from the back as well, while Combs watched. The woman alleges Pierre replaced the second man and he RAP'd her too. When the men finished, she said she fell into the fetal position on the floor in excruciating pain and was later escorted out of the building and flown back to Michigan, she claims. Okay. Drugs were a consistent part of Combs' life, Ventura alleges in her lawsuit, claiming he was addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. She claims he had pills and other drugs out in the open like candy, and that he would supply alcohol, ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine. Lord, this nigga was a motherfucking pharmacy. This nigga's a drugstore. This nigga's a regular drugstore, nigga. This nigga had ketamine and GHB and marijuana doing their freak offs. But far from enhancing the party vibe, Ventura and others say these substances only darken his mood. Once Combs got drunk or high enough, says one frequent party guest in the early 2000s, he would turn violent and loud. He would take his anger out on people. At several points when Combs was extremely intoxicated, Ventura alleges he beat her. An industry source said that they once left the party at Combs' home because they felt so uncomfortable watching an aggressive Combs yell at Cassie throughout the night, quote unquote. You could tell in her eyes that she was scared, they said. I'm like, is this normal? Am I tripping right now? Why is nobody saying anything? Are they that scared of him? In a 2015 appearance on The Breakfast Club, Combs described the deal he offers his girlfriends, quote unquote. If I'm in a relationship with you, 25% of your time, you're going to feel, hold on. 25% of your time, you're going to just feel like, oh man, I hate being here. This guy cheated on me, he lied on me, Combs explained, while sitting next to his teenage son, Christian. But then, that 75% of, I'm going to make you the happiest woman in the whole wide world. I'm going to be there to support your dreams. I'm going to be there to hold you, listen to you. I'm going to be there to be your best friend. And I promise to make you smile the most. You know who I am. This is what it is. Take that. Nah, I had to take that. Which deal would you choose? That's what he excellent. And if you've seen that Breakfast Club, I remember that. That was one term of the deal Combs never disclosed, sources say. The women who signed up for it were not allowed to walk away. Damian Vasquez, a former Bad Boy intern, says after Combs and Lopez broke up, Combs had staffers camped outside MTV TRL studios with signs to win her back. Ventura claimed that every time she hid, Combs' network of operatives found her and implored her to return, including the Bad Boy executive who threatened to withhold the release of her music if she didn't return Combs' calls. After Ventura left Combs, he tried to paint a picture of a heartbroken, hurt man, a source who knew the couple throughout the relationship says, when the reality was he's a liar and an abuser. Burowitz believes Combs loses at a young age, especially the murder of his father took a toll on his relationships. He is fortified now with money and power, but abandonment and an act of leaving can bring about vicious results, he says, and the women catch it the worst. Combs' long-term partner, Kim Porter, who died of lobar pneumonia in 2018, allegedly, was no exception. Their relationship was tumultuous, according to two sources who claim Combs physically abused her, quote unquote. I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff. Former Bad Boy rapper Mark Curry says, if you live around them, you get to see the toxic relationship. I think every relationship had that. I experienced around him was like that. Combs and Porter first got together in '94 and dated on and off until '07 when she ended it for good upon learning Combs had fathered a secret child while she was pregnant with their twin daughters. There were other infidelities, including Combs' affair with Lopez, but Combs never let Porter truly move on, she told Essence. He still called 50, 60 times a day, she said. It was like my life was not even my own. He was very, very intrusive. In 2000, Porter's fledgling courtship with the late music executive Shakir Stewart enraged Combs. When the industry gathered for L.A. Reid's wedding in Italy that summer, Combs went to Stewart's room after the ceremony and allegedly broke a chair over Stewart's head. This nigga's a real wrestler, bro. He's breaking chairs over motherfuckers' heads, beating them with phones. Like, I'm surprised nobody shot this nigga, man. That is crazy. He was picking the right people. Stewart's mother and two of his close friends tell Rolling Stone he left him bleeding on the hotel floor in Italy. Stewart's mother, Portia, says he had to have stitches and then Combs threatened him, I'm going to kill you. That's when I said, this man is crazy. All right, so we on part 5. Everybody in the chat right now, stop what you're doing right now. If you on your mobile device, hit these 3 dots right here. Hit these 3 motherfucking dots right here. Smash that motherfucking like. We on part 5. This is a 6-part series. So we nearing the end. If you on your regular shit, smash the like. Let me turn this AC off. I'm getting cold. All right. What up, Jason? I see you. Part 5, or chapter 5, I guess you want to say. The title is, I've noticed him kill a lot of people's spirits. By the mid-2000s, Bad Boy had hemorrhaged several By the mid-2000s, Bad Boy had hemorrhaged several top acts, including Faith Evans, Total, 112, Craig Mack, and Foxy Brown. I didn't know that. I didn't know she was signed with Bad Boy. 2 decades later, nearly all of Combs' artists have left him. Apart from himself, stepson Quincy Jones, and son Christian, only Janelle Monáe is left on the label. I didn't even know she was signed to him. A rep for Monáe did not reply to the request for comment. Machine Gun Kelly's latest track released with Bad Boy was in February 2024. He started his own label, EST, whatever, on Interscope. Rolling Stone reached out to dozens of artists who's been signed to Bad Boy to ask about their experiences with the label. Many declined, with one saying, I don't have anything nice to say when it comes to my time with Bad Boy. It was not a good experience and one I really don't want to relive. Those who did speak to Rolling Stone say they felt their time with the label was squandered through lack of direction. Several spent years at Bad Boy without releasing any music. Curry, who was affiliated with Bad Boy from 1997 to 06, has been one of the most outspoken detractors, writing about his dealings with Combs in his 2009 book, Dancing with the Devil, How Puff Burned the Bad Boys of Hip Hop. He says Combs repeatedly promised to produce his solo album, but never gave him a budget, quote unquote. There's different ways you can kill a person, Curry tells Rolling Stone. I've noticed him kill a lot of people's spirits. Not everyone felt the same. Singer-songwriter Kalina Harper says one of the highs of her life was joining Combs' Diddy's Dirty Money group in 2009. She was later invited to work with Combs on the Love album. He was fucking cool as shit, she says, adding that the artists who blame Combs for the trajectory of their careers may suffer from disgruntled employee syndrome. Years later, there were whispers that some Bad Boy A&R executives would expect sexual favors from female artists in exchange for professional attention, quote unquote. I would hear about female artists being asked to do stuff with some of the other male executives because one former bad boy staffer. Like, we can make or break your career, but what you gonna do about it? Going HR was useless. If you want your job, you're going there. You're not going there. You're not, hold on. If you want your job, you're not going there to complain, they had. On the Call Her Daddy podcast, 2002, Danity Kane's Aubrey O'Day said she was kicked out of the group because she wasn't willing to do certain things, not talent related, like sex and shit. But in other areas, she refused to get specific, saying the truth was what you can imagine. There was no Me Too, she added. You signed million NDAs and had a million contracts that took away your rights. Asked by Rolling Stone to elaborate, O'Day says, quote unquote, the answer to what happens if you don't do what the executives want, I'm the full-blown fucking story of that. Some who left Combs worried he might try to expel them from the industry altogether. Brooklyn rapper, Lionese, Babs Bunny, that's Babs from the band, said she was blackballed after leaving the label. Bunny, the photographer, claims her gigs instantly dried up after winning a lawsuit against Combs in 2000 for withholding a set of Biggie photos from her. She claims a friend at the Fader magazine told her that Combs personally called the office and said that if they worked with Bunny, Bad Boy would pull his advertising from the magazine. This nigga's it's a tactical nigga, man. It's a tactical nigga with money, bro. All right. Talk show host Wendy Williams wrote in her 2004 book that Combs spent a lot of money and used a lot of his influence to try to crush me after she posted an alleged sexual photo of Combs and another man on her website. Combs denied it was him in the photo. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a picture. They put out pictures of him on some zesty shit. I didn't know that. Not that I would want to see it. I'm saying I never heard that. I mean, that was a long time ago. I probably wasn't even in tune with Wendy Williams yet. And music producer Easy Mo B claimed in February that after he challenged Combs over a credit Combs had given himself on the producer song, he noticed certain people wouldn't deal with him, quote unquote. He's someone you don't want to make an enemy out of, says one former employee of Combs. When people do go against him, that person gets ostracized. For some, the effects of being shunned by Combs were profound. Francesca Sparrow joined Bad Boy Entertainment in 1998, rising through the company to become Combs' right-hand woman. But Sparrow alleged in an age and disability discrimination lawsuit that Combs she alleged in an age and disability discrimination lawsuit that Combs illegally fired her in 2010. She claims Combs froze her out after she took time to recover from a hip surgery and voluntarily checked into rehab to treat a lapse in her sobriety. Sparrow tried to continue working in the music industry, but opportunities would disappear. A family member says the alleged blacklisting, quote unquote, led to significant health issues which brought her to her end, the relative says. She was devastated by the way she was treated. She felt betrayed. And that young lady died in 2014. R.I.P. to her. What's her name? What's her first name? Sparrow? I'm not going to go to the other page. What's her name? Francesca. R.I.P. Francesca Sparrow. All right, chapter 6. Life ain't always what it seemed to be. ain't that a life ain't always what it seemed to be? That's a Diddy lyric, right? For Combs' 50th birthday in 2019, revelers gathered at his 17,000 square foot Homely Hills home in a black tie attire and beaded gowns. Sipping champagne and ice cold Ciroc, the vodka brand Combs shelled for a share of profits. They admired a breathtaking Kerry James Marshall painting that Combs had recently purchased for $21 million. Guests Beyonce and Jay-Z rubbed shoulders with Dr. Dre, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kobe. Kobe was there! R.P. Kobe. Kobe knew. Kobe was there? Yeah, that was 19. That was when Kobe died, right? That was like right before he died. Damn. Cardi B was there, Snoop Dogg, Kim Kardashian, Usher, and Post Malone, among others. It was a crowning moment for Combs, a testament to the multifaceted success he had worked so hard to achieve. Combs had conquered fashion, winning Men's Wear Designer of the Year at the prestigious Council of Fashion Designers Americas Awards in 2020 and 2004, acted on a Broadway, become the co-owner of De Leon Tequila, founded the Revolt TV cable network, purchased the sports beverage company Aqua Hydrate with Mark Wahlberg, and filmed a cameo in Disney's 2014 movie Muppets Most Wanted. He even legally changed his middle name to Love, with his hard edges seemingly polished away by his, what is it, gilded life. Combs appeared untouchable. It was all a perfect cover for his alleged physical and sexual abuse of Ventura. Ventura says in her lawsuit that there were multiple witnesses to her alleged mistreatment, and they were too afraid to cross Combs. She claims both Combs, head of security, and his assistant began to cry when they saw the extent of her injuries. Ventura's friend Tiffany Red wrote that she was present the night Ventura said she was forced to leave her 2015 surprise birthday party for another freak off with Combs. Red recalls seeing Ventura. Got hair on my tongue. Red recalled seeing Ventura backed up against the wall with Combs, cursing her out. She said Ventura returned later that night, apparently sedated, which means high, if y'all don't know what the fuck sedated means. While Combs screamed at Red, "Tell your girl she wants some birthday dick. I flew all the way from Miami. She gonna get this birthday dick." Red wrote, she told a visible, angry Combs to leave Cassie alone. She recalled Combs ignoring her and driving off with Ventura in the golf cart. This nigga's a psycho. Combs' physical abuse extended to Ventura's inner circle as well. According to her lawsuit, she claims one of her friends obtained a settlement after a physical altercation with Combs in 2018. After Cassie's birthday party in 2015, a severely intoxicated Combs allegedly dangled another of Ventura's friends over a 17th floor balcony. I think, was that the Diddy shit? Was that the Wale shit? That might be the Wale shit. Damn, Wale. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all smash the motherfucking lights. We getting to the nitty gritty full breakdown. Since nobody else want to read it to y'all, we gonna read it together. You know what I'm talking about? Did he do it or did he not do it? I think it's kind of apparent. Did it? Ventura says people fail to speak up because Combs doesn't believe in being told no. And if you get caught up in the wrath of that, it can be very dangerous. In her lawsuit, Ventura says she finally found the strength to leave for good when Combs allegedly forced his way into her apartment and he RAPE'd her in 2018. September of 2018. Well, all this shit. The night she met him for a dinner to discuss breaking up, she claims Combs pulled off her clothing and assaulted her as she repeatedly yelled, "No!" and tried to push him away. A month later, people reported the relationship was over, citing a source who said Ventura was moving on with renewed focus on her career. Though Cassie's alleged hell at the hands of Combs was largely unknown until she filed her complaint, overlapping public claims about Combs' behavior made minor headlines during their decade together. In 2017, Combs was sued for sexual harassment by personal chef Cindy Ruder. In a lawsuit that seemed bizarre at the time, but has gained renewed scrutiny, Ruder claimed that when she worked for Combs in 2015 and part of 16, he regularly had her serve dishes while he and his guests were having sex. It come feed us while we fucking. I'm gonna push into layman terms. So basically, he was telling the chef lady, "Yeah, come cook, serve us food while we fucking, bitch." He probably like eating, like, you know what I'm saying? She feeding him shit with like a long fork or some shit. Feed us while we fucking. This nigga's a real freak, man. Ruder's okay. What was it? Okay. Ruder claimed Combs once asked her to prepare a how you say this word? Poscado meal, then greeted her fully naked and asked her if she liked his naked body. So he told her to make him some food, and when she went to give him the food, he asked naked, "You like this dick? You like this? You like how this shit look? Shit look alright?" This nigga is a weirdo for real, bro. Like, I'm telling you, that's the nigga that you gotta get rid of this nigga, bro. One incident in August 2015 allegedly involved Combs ordering Ruder to serve him breakfast in his room and then partaking in sexual activity with model Gina Hunu as Ruder dropped the food on the table and fled. Huna, meanwhile, reemerged in 2019 with claims that Combs beat her. In an interview with gossip blogger, oh, that's the girl Virginia. That's the Asian lady. In an interview with gossip blogger Tasha K, who I don't know her name, who knew, said she started dating Combs in 14 and then he offered $50K to terminate a pregnancy that year. Hunu also said Combs shoved her to the ground and dragged her by her hair in 2018 and in a jealous rage once stumped on her stomach. The allegations barely made a ripple and Hunu went silent after the interview. And she also declined to make a, but we already seen what she, if you seen that interview, we seen what she said. The Detroit area Jane Doe who sued Combs and Pierre in December tells Rolling Stone she hopes her lawsuit will not just Combs, but will hold not just Combs, but all those who acted with him, stood silent, and actively covered up his behavior accountable. In her lawsuit, she said her nightmare was not an isolated incident and pointed to another Jane Doe who sued Pierre on November 21st. The woman alleges Pierre groomed and sexually assaulted her when she was his assistant between 16 and 17, birds of a feather. Then in early February, Jones, the Love album producer, which is Lil Ride Dude, the 73-page complaint filed by lawyer Tyrone Blackburn, which included unusual elements such as photos of the defendants and redacted names that could easily be deciphered, claims that Jones worked, traveled, and often lived with Combs while producing 9 songs for the project. Jones described his experience as a hedonistic hell escape. Y'all know what hedon? That's like sexual hell. Like, he claimed to have hundreds of hours of footage and audio capturing Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activities, including the use of and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, ketamine, marijuana candy, mushrooms, GHB, and Tucci, a pink powder described as a mixture of ecstasy and cocaine. That's that pink cocaine they was talking about. I didn't know. I never heard that. And I'm from a nigga from the streets, but I don't be in them. I don't be in like my niggas don't sniff. I wouldn't know about no Tucci. He claimed that at one party in July 2023, Combs fed him ecstasy-laced liquor until he blacked out and woke up naked next to a sex worker. This is crazy. Jones said Combs terrorized him with constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his arms, and that Combs kept him compliant by displaying weapons, threatening to eat his face. This nigga Diddy told him, "I eat your face, nigga." No, does that mean shoot a nigga? Do you mean really bath salts, eat a nigga face? That's crazy. He told a nigga he'll eat his face. And according to the suit, informing Jones that he was willing to kill his own mother if he must to get what he wanted. This nigga Diddy said he'd kill his own mama, man. This nigga must be stopped, bro. This nigga must be stopped. He is the monster. Nothing has changed, Jones told Rolling Stone shortly after filing his lawsuit. This guy got no soul. He has no duty to no one, not even his kids. Combs' associates, meanwhile, have faced allegations of their own. 25-year-old Brendan Paul, who was described as in his lawsuit as Combs' drug mule, was arrested and charged with cocaine possession. During the raids on Combs' properties, Paul pleaded guilty to the deal or whatever, agreeing to complete a drug diversion program, after which his case will be dismissed. The deal was offered because Paul is considered a first-time offender and the substance amount allegedly found was not of a trafficking level. a spokesman for the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office said. In early April, yacht steward Grace O'Marakai sued Combs and his 26-year-old son, Christian, alleging that Christian drugged and attacked her on board a luxury vessel rented for a 2022 vacation in St. Martin while filming a scent-scrap family reality show for Hulu. According to the NBC News, O'Makai, I don't know how to say her name, O'Makai, can be heard in the audio recording asking Christian to stop touching her legs. She claims Christian later tried to force her to perform oral sex, allegations he denies through his father's lawyer. Christian Combs' lawyer, Aaron Dyer, did not reply to a request to comment. This is one. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 7 parts. This is the last part. Part 7, Chapter 7. Is this the end? On May 4th, Combs posted a video of himself standing by the ocean, staring down a tropical monsoon with his arms outstretched as the recorded voice of his spiritual advisor, T.D. Jakes, booms. Not hysterical, not frantic, not anxious, not fretful, but steady in the storm. While Combs gathers up support where he can, the new allegations have reshaped his world. After stepping down from Revolt, he reportedly sold his shares in March. The Harlem charter school he co-funded reportedly cut ties and scrubbed his name from his website. In April, premium liquor giant Diageo revealed it paid approximately $200 million to buy the outstanding 50% share of their De Leon tequila brand from Combs, fully dissolving their partnership. And the wave of lawsuits reignited industry beef with Combs' longtime rival, 50 Cent, who is making a documentary about his downfall. Combs is preparing for a fight for his reputation, his legacy, and in some sense, his life. Federal officials declined to say much after the March raids, but a source confirmed to Rolling Stone that investigators in the Southern District of New York interviewed potential witnesses as part of a sex trafficking and RICO, which that's what they about to hit him with. Let's be clear. Sex trafficking and racketeering probe, which is RICO. So he about to get hit with that RICO. He about to go hit with the RICO. How that song go? You're probably going to hit with the RICO. They about to hit him with that RICO Suave. That RICO la. Yeah, they about to do him in. I ain't going to lie. Agents may also examine Combs' alleged ties to the infamous Black Mafia family cartel after the Detroit Jane Doe alleged in her suit that the group is rumored to have seeded Bad Boy. So I guess that's who funded Bad Boy. Sex trafficking is certainly a potential component of a pattern of racketeering, or it would be charged on its own. Former federal prosecutor Elizabeth Geddes, a member of the team that successfully prosecuted R. Kelly in the New York, tells Rolling Stone he got the exact feds on him that got R. Kelly. It's ugly. This is ugly. This is nasty. This is nasty work here. It might be over for him. I ain't gonna lie. The indictments of R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, high-profile individuals who long evaded real accountability by law enforcement, offer prosecutors a playbook for possible prosecution of Sean Combs. Combs is known to sport a gold medallion depicting Lazarus, the biblical figure who raised from the dead. And why not? He survived the deadly CCNY tragedy, the shooting that killed his top artist, and his Club New York criminal trial, and prospered. He named an album No Way Out, but he's always managed to find one. This time may be different. As more accusers and associates emerge with hellish accounts of their time with Combs, as more voices hint that there are darker stories still to be uncovered, he stands exposed in a much harsher light. To some, his claim that his brutal 2016 attack on Cassie represented, "I was at rock bottom," from which he has since recovered, doesn't ring true. One source who knew the former couple says the mogul's rage was always on the verge of creeping out. Rock bottom must be his personality, they say. I've never seen this person. Misa Hilton, the mother of Combs' first son, Justin, had been silent in the wake of Ventura's lawsuit. But after the video broke, she responded by saying, I know exactly how she feels, and through my empathy, it was triggered by my own trauma. It's a long overdue reckoning. Anna, whose encounter with Combs at the Peninsula Hotel still haunts her. People have been sitting with their experiences for years. You don't know what to do with it. Gardner's friend wrote in her recent affidavit that she wishes she had spoken up then, raised hell earlier. She watched her friend grapple with the aftermath. This experience completely changed Liza as a person, she wrote. Dickinson Neal, too, says she was forever changed by a single night. One date with Sean Combs led to the trauma of pain and sexual assault in an ocean's depth. What the fuck am I? Depth of shame. Learning that Combs allegedly distributed an explicit video of her devastating and suffered debilitating self-doubt and a lifetime of inner turmoil. Those who were watching decades ago have long suspected Combs' legacy would end in disgrace. None of this was really a surprise for me, says one of the Howard alums who had knowledge of Combs' attack on a classmate. You're really an abuser. You were already feeling you had to have certain power over people. Another says Combs must now face accountability. It's time. In an Instagram post in late May, Ventura expressed gratitude for all the love and support she's received with a lot of hard work. I'm better today, she wrote, but she added, echoing the experiences of many of Combs' accusers, I will always be recovering from my past. Damn. And that's it. So that's the entire that's the new scathing motherfucking article, man. What y'all think? Give me some thoughts, man. Shout out to everybody that hit the chat, man. Please, if you in here right now, shout out to you. I appreciate you. If you're on your mobile device, hit these three dots right here at this corner and hit that motherfucking like button. And YouTube, when you gonna make it so we don't gotta keep telling them that? Put the like down there somewhere. But if you're on a regular computer or your regular shit, hit that like button. We got 50 likes. We done had probably like 5,000 people in here. I appreciate everybody. Did he do it or did he do it? Did he, how you say it? Did he do it or didn't he do it? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I appreciate y'all time. This was a lot of fucking talking. I'm about to roll up. This nigga's a real freak, real weirdo. And I mean, I guess, you know, you reap what you sow, karma, whatever you believe. What goes around comes around. Whatever your religion is, it's all the same shit. Whatever your belief is. He did it. I think he did it too. Yeah, he about to get that Ricola. Watch, you gonna wake up one day, give it the next week or something. Hit him with the Rico. Rico Suave. They about to hit him with, when you see racketeering, the Fed said they already looking for racketeering and sex trafficking. That's the exact thing that fucking happened with Kelly, bro. With R. Kells, bro. And he got drugs involved, so that might, who knows, man. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that's subscribed, the new subscribers, the OGs. Whoo, it's been crazy, man. I'm gone.